Hello everybody, and welcome. After 5 long years, welcome to Russian Leg Sweep. With almost tears in my eyes, I'm so happy to return to you after my long hiatus. I promised to release video in few days, and it ended up being half decade that I was away. I'm sorry to anyone who really enjoyed this, my 11 subscribers. I don't have large audience, but people still for some reason watch this. I don't want to bore anybody with life story, but I have been in prison, so I just want you to know that I didn't go away by choice. I didn't have access to watch wrestling, and many things have changed. Before I create new content, I wanted to release the old unfinished videos that I had promised. I don't know if anyone still cared or would be interested, but I promised part 2 of this show, and I'm giving it to you. I am man of word. It is emotional to taste freedom, to sit behind this microphone again. Now, let's finish what we started these 5 long years ago, my friends. This is No Surrender, part 2. Please bear in mind, this was recorded and edited mainly 5 years ago. Next time you will hear the Igor from 2026 will be at the end of this video. So was this cursed pay-per-view from iMPACT a good show? It could have been, right? So tell me, am I being a fool or an optimist? Let's find out. The last match I covered for this show on this event was the X Division Spot Fest, which was won by Josh Alexander for the X Division #1 contendership. And all of that was very exciting. So what you have next for me, iMPACT?
Are you fucking kidding me, iMPACT? After the last time I see these two people in the ring, I almost have heart attack. What am I supposed to do with this on pay-per-view? Are you kidding me? After I praise you, I praise this show at the beginning opening of this.
You know what? It's fine. Whatever. I'm a pro. I can do this. So these two jokers are the first team to come out. And you know what? I don't really have problem with Havoc. It's really just Nevaeh. She can't do shit. And they are against the team from whom I'm expecting absolutely fucking nothing. Last time I saw Kira Hogan, she was absolute disgrace and embarrassment to women's wrestling, but not as bad as Nevaeh. Soon as bell rings, both teams go for elbow exchange. What the fuck was that, guys? Look, if you can't do head kicks, just don't fucking do head kicks, okay? Straight away, let's just talk about Nevaeh. Nevaeh has some really bad habits. Really bad. Distractingly bad. If you ever wanted to know if a woman is good pro wrestler, I will give you the secret right now. Watch her feet. And I'm genuinely getting pissed off at promoters and fans who think these women are good pro wrestlers. Igor is here to break it to you losers that they are not. Your brains are simply being fooled by surface layers. You're all sitting there thinking, oh well, she's kind of pretty, she has expensive gear, she can raise her leg and slap it so she can work a match. Well, I'm fucking sorry to break it to you guys, but if you ever see women with footwork like this, they are not fucking pro wrestlers. What am I talking about? Well, Nevaeh's bad habits are evident almost every time she gives or receives a fucking move. She does this little step thing. It's a skip or something. And it's an absolute trademark of a terrible female wrestler. I have absolutely no idea how she didn't get crucified for doing shit like that in wrestling schools. It's not fucking acceptable. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh no, I'm never going to be able to unsee that, good. I don't want you to ever unsee it. I want you to know that this is what a bad wrestler looks like. And this is literally what the first thing Nevaeh did, is to do little shuffle taking head kick. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm fucking hating this already. So Jessica Havoc throws around Kira Hogan a little bit and restores some legitimacy to this match. And this lady is probably about 10 times better than someone like Nia Jax. And just as I fucking say that, this shit happens. That's just so fucking, #1, ugly, #2, so fucking dangerous. Right now would be a good time for Tasha Steele to come to life a little bit and start helping out Kira Hogan. That's the logical thing to do, so they're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to have Kira Hogan take control of this match. But Igor, I hear you say, somehow. Jessica Havoc is very large lady, and Kira Hogan is very little lady. So this has to be something pretty clever or pretty big to cut her off, right? No, she just pulls her gear with one hand and Jessica throws herself into turnbuckle and sells. Both of these ladies need to know their size better than this. After hitting dropkick on Jessica Havoc, Nevaeh comes and boots Kira Hogan in head. Whatever she was going to do gets cut off by Tasha Steele. Now let's talk about Tasha Steele for a minute. All of the offense that she decides to give Nevaeh is things which are usually reserved for, singles matches or tag matches. This is basically heat, what she's doing. Stomping, rest holds, choking on ropes for referee 5 count and show to cameras. And like I said, in either normal match or normal tag match, this would be fine. But here, in this match, there is absolutely no reason to give someone heat. This is a tornado tag match. Anybody can come in whenever they want. So then again, why are you doing heat? There is not going to be a hot tag. You understand, right? And it's a complete fucking disconnect. It's completely backwards. Because Tasha Steele and Kira Hogan have the size disadvantage coming into this match, which technically makes them the underdogs. And here is Tasha Steele giving heat to a lady who is 10 times fucking stronger than her. If you wanted to do this properly, then Tasha Steele would have to do some cool shiny stuff right now. And logic dictates that she would have to do that using her speed, not by having a brawl with this woman. And I know she is heel, I'm not saying she should have worked face, but you know what, in situations like this you have to adjust. You have to know that you're the smaller person in there. You have to understand how the audience will be perceiving you. And these two tiny women are just fucking up these two very large women. It's just completely not credible. So after wasting a little bit of time doing heat, Tasha Steele finally realizes what I was talking about. Couple of running strikes to Nevaeh and corner. Following this, Kira Hogan comes back to life a little bit, takes about 2 million steps around the ring to hit dropkick, which she misses, by the way, by about 10 million fucking miles, and it's disgraceful. Yeah, remember when I said watch her feet and you all thought I was pervert? Well, now you know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So as the midget team of tag team champions celebrate, they get destroyed by Jessica Havoc in a welcome change of scenario. Havoc and Nevaeh get the champions in corners and try whip them at each other, but they end up doing dozy-do spot and come back with drop kicks. Guys, just look at the fucking size difference. Like, they shouldn't even be selling this shit. This is so fucking shit. So Havoc got rid of Tasha Steele and picks up Kira Hogan for a double team move set up with Nevaeh. Then suddenly Tasha Steele comes in with chair and tries to kill Havoc, but Havoc kills her instead. A reversal is a powerful move. You can use it to, change who has the momentum in match, or use it to tell a story with creative things here and there. But this match has absolutely no story, so in this match they're just using reversal to get from spot A to spot B, and it's embarrassing. You shouldn't be ever doing that ever. Now Havoc set up chair in corner and pick up Kira to kill her with it. And this is another spot which goes absolutely fucking nowhere. Doesn't lead to anything. So Havoc and Nevaeh team up and beat up Tasha Steele in the corner a little bit. Then they go for pin, but suddenly Kira Hogan appears with kendo stick and drills Nevaeh. Havoc, please don't sell it. Please just take it. Stand there like monster and don't sell. No, why are you fucking selling? Why? I mean, look, we all know Nevaeh is a piece of shit, but Havoc, you could have literally looked like the most toughest motherfucker in the old world, and this is already good women's roster. You could have been one of the strong ones. You could have been good if you just built the perception of not getting killed by fucking midgets. And I'm just going to say now, this is not the match to be getting hit in head with kendo stick for. This is pile of shit. I'm going to be giving this less than 1 star. Sorry everybody, spoiler, but guess what? This is fucking shit. Now Nevaeh comes back to life and decides to illustrate my point, so watch this. Skip. Jesus Christ. So, seriously, that was like 10 seconds and she did it like 5 times. Look, she does here, that second one, and now look. Another one, right before forearm, skip, once again, and last one, nice big one, lovely, thank you Nevaeh. This is, you know what Nevaeh, you are perfect person to demonstrate this point. You are so shit and you do this so much that it makes it very easy for me to draw attention to what bad footwork looks like, so for that you are a good thing. The champions do double suplex to Nevaeh, and then Havoc come in and kill them both. And this is just so fucking repetitive at this point. I've seen this like 3 times already here. So I guess the Nevaeh skip was contagious because Havoc does it before doing the worst backbreaker I've ever seen. And look at this. What the fuck is this? And I kind of praised this woman for being the best in this match. What the fuck? So as Havoc shows out, Kira Hogan runs in with the worst leg slap ever. Is anybody in this fucking match aware that you should be at least trying to fucking hide shit like this? Yes, I hate the overuse of leg slaps, okay? It's fucking stupid. There's obviously artistry to do it well. You have to get the timing right, and you have to make it look invisible, and there are people who are amazing at it. And obviously it should also be used in moderation. Not a single one of these girls here in this match have the artistry to pull the shit off. I'm telling you now. And there should have been one fucking guy at least backstage agenting this match saying, you know what, don't do that, you're not fucking good at it. But here they are, they're just doing all this stuff and they're just fucking shit at it. So Kira Hogan go to pick up Nevaeh, and no, don't put these people together again. I don't need another fucking headache. And also, what is this for a fucking front bump? And just this slouching body language of Nevaeh. And Guys, she did the little skip, just walking over to pick up Tasha Steele. She did a little skip. Okay, seriously, when I said that she does it before giving and taking every single move, I didn't know she was going to do it before fucking picking somebody up. That's just ridiculous. Come on. So Tasha Steele breaks hold and she gives her code breaker and then shows the hard cam. Now let's play a game called What Do You Think Happens Next? Here are options, number 1, 2 or 3. Have a good think about it. Well, have you decided? What do you think? Trick question. They all fucking happen. With a twist. Kira Hogan comes in and they try to take Jessica Havoc for suplex, but she reverses and suplex them both. Cameras awkwardly cut to Nevaeh, who's very much anticipating her spot and forgets to sell. So she's just awkwardly just fucking watching her partner be in there against 2 other women. So we finally pay off the spot of the chair being set up in corner as Jessica Havoc kills herself. And that was cue for fucking Nevaeh to come in and get her ass kicked by fucking Tasha Steele. Long story short, she goes for something, it gets reversed, Tasha Steele does a cutter or something onto the fucking parking sign, and that's a 3. Thank fucking Jesus. This was fucking terrible. Oh, there is a Jesus, thank you. So for some reason after match they start showing what the... Holy shit! Nevaeh just almost showed an emotion, and it's gone. And she's back to no emotions. Brilliant. What the fuck can I possibly say about this fucking match? This was one of the worst things I've ever had to fucking sit through, and it doesn't belong on this card. Actually, it drags this show down so fucking bad. The only nice thing I can say about it is that it was mercifully short. Other than that, all 4 women looked fucking terrible, and they should be ashamed of this match, its design and their own fucking performance. This was a disgrace to women's wrestling once again. As promised, I think I'm going to give this way less than 1 Soviet star. It doesn't deserve that. It doesn't even deserve half. It's probably quarter. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. This doesn't get any Soviet stars. This gets nothing. This gets no Soviet stars. This was fucking abysmal. If you're sitting there thinking, Igor, how did you possibly get through this without fucking vodka break or something? Well, it is because I'm a very strong man and I have very high tolerance to bullshit wrestling. Because I'm reviewing this super late, I have been given some amazing news, which I will share with you now. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Up next is the X Division boys. TJP defends his X Division title against Rohit Raju. For the sake of wrestling, after that previous match, which was just disaster, these boys have to burn down the house. Rohit comes out accompanied by 2 things, an amazing jacket and Shira. And as this guy makes his way to the ring, he promised that he's going to become 2-time X Division champion. This guy is pretty solid, he's in good shape and he looks ready to go. TJP comes out looking like absolute superstar, and that belt looked like it belonged on him. It actually looked like part of his gear. Straight away as he walks out, we have some foreshadowing in terms of Shira's presence, and obviously he's going to play a factor here throughout match. And just as I say that, we have suicide dive from Rohit to jumpstart match. Since bell has not yet rung, TJP tries to neutralize situation by trying to hit him with his belt, but he ends up getting blocked and taking back suplex onto apron from Rohit. And just as TJP roll in, he take Rohit's signature running knee. Rohit starts pinning TJP and screaming at the referee to count, but referee said no bell ringing yet. TJ roll out and take running knee for second time, this time from apron, and Rohit shows out, makes his way up top and gets cut off with drop kick from TJP, and he falls into the loving arms of Shira, who ends up taking the dive from TJP. Obviously when he gets up, Rohit sneaks one in from behind, and then these guys do some very nice stuff back and forth behind barricades. Flip senton and bicycle kick were both lovely. They even did suplex on entrance ramp. Finally bell rings with both men inside ring. TJP gets quick hope spot with basement drop kick. He does corner head punch and then goes for his signature tornado. Oh! Signature tornado DDT countered into a Northern Lights suplex. TJ tucked his head his very last moment. It was beautiful. Jesus, looks so dangerous. So Rohit works a bit of heat and Shira gets some cheap shots in. So now as Rohit showed to hard cam, the spirit of wrestling has returned to this building. TJ reverses a whip and goes for his Three Amigos thing, but as he swings his hips, Rohit has an answer of his own with Fisherman's Neckbreaker, and then he pick him up for a perfect plex. Rohit does a lovely facial to camera after TJ kick out. He works a little bit more Rohit, and he does this by choking him with sleeper hold, and it gives TJP another quick sort of hope spot. As TJP struggles to gain control of his own head, Rohit immediately cuts him off. He lays him out and then he goes for Austin 316 elbow. TJP kick out and now Rohit annoyed. This guy is doing a good job showing to you what his character's internal monologue is. Now he take advantage of the strength in numbers as he throws him out for Shira to play with. In the meantime, he is going to distract referee. Cutting back to ringside, we see that Shira has been choking TJP, and of course conveniently referee didn't see anything. As TJ is crawling back in, Rohit stomps on his hand and mocks the support the crowd would be giving him if they were here. Then we have another quick hope spot for TJP, boot from the corner and then goes for a line, but Rohit traps the arm, goes for Russian leg sweep, pins the champion for a kick out, and then he does a lovely facial to camera once again. Now this guy's just trying to win me over. Rohit realizes that his running knees are not going to do the job, so he decides to work arm. After a series of manipulations, he decides to go for Kimura, but TJP manages to counter into a atomic drop. Creates some separation as Rohit comes in for a corner spear. TJ evades the attack and locks in a single grab, most likely to foreshadow his signature leg lock coming up later. Releases the hold due to 5 count, goes for his Mamba splash and Rohit moves out of way. Hits him with big elbow smash. Rohit goes for Sister Abigail neckbreaker, but get countered into TJ's move. Lovely bit of camera work as both guys sell. For the first time, TJ has the momentum in this match. He grabs wrist control and goes to pick up Rohit for his GTS kick thing. Rohit catches the leg, rolls him out, and big flying knee to the face. Only negative I can say is that he is slapping an awful lot for these knees. That was fine, but he does it a lot. And then and here he just boots him in face without slap. That was lovely. So TJP in corner, which means he's obviously going to get the hope. Goes for signature head scissors, but get countered into a front face slam. Rohit has come ready for TJP tonight. And another kick out by TJ leads to desperation from Rohit. TJP cuts Rohit off at the top rope. Huge superplex to the challenger, swings his hips into fireman's carry, gets his GTS kick, rolls in to cover the hungry challenger, but it's not over yet. Non-existent crowd goes wild as these two do double down. TJP scales top rope once again to go for Mamba splash, but Rohit Raju is ready, catches him in up triangle, trying to choke out champion, but he realizes he pinning himself, so gets a shoulder up, and TJ uses movement to transition into his signature leg lock. Lovely match going on, ladies and gentlemen. Both guys look really good and I like the design of this match. Inevitably Rohit get the rope and TJ drag him back to center, but it's still not over yet. Rohit has answer of his own. He rolls TJP on his belly and then he transitions into crossface. As TJP gets to bottom rope, Rohit kicks the ropes and tries to roll back into center with the lock. He does this twice, but on second one, TJP roll him up for a pin. 2 count and we get some separation. TJP wants his leg lock, so he goes for sliding tackle and gets crushed to death by Rohit in his double foot stomp. Rohit says it's over, hit the ropes for a huge knee, covers champion, X Division title online and a kick out. Jesus Christ, my pulse is fucking high. I fucking love seeing Rohit progression of his face showing more and more frustration throughout this match. Look at this shit, study this shit. This is sign of amazing fucking wrestler. Really selling to you after kick out that he's throwing everything at this guy. Shiro grabs TJP for another cheat spot, but TJ escapes and Rohit knees his partner in face. TJ on apron, springboard from top rope and huge DDT. Up top rope again and finally gets his Mamba Splash. 1, 2 and 3. Champion retains. What a fucking match. Holy shit. TJ still selling left arm and Rohit still emoting his fucking heart out. He genuinely had me believing he could take it home tonight. X Division are definitely playing a huge role tonight. Spotfest was nice, but this just felt like absolute cruiserweight classic. Both guys actively wanted to steal show. Let's talk about the fact that Rohit had answer to every single signature move from TJP tonight. Everything. He had reversal for everything. Everything! I believed him when he said he could be 2-time X Division champion. With matches like this, give him the fucking belt. TJP was phenomenal as usual. He took a lot of shit, he sell really good. He bring his submission game, he bring his high flying game. He moved with so much fluidity. He shined like star that he is and he looked great defeating such a good opponent. This match get 4.5 Soviet stars. It was fucking awesome. My only complaint is finish could have been a little bit stronger. Other than that, it was fucking beautiful. Jake and Diener were good singles earlier, but you know what, this is probably my match of night. Only other singles match left is the main event, and we all know who's in that. Anyway, after previous match, these two have brought integrity back to the show, and they were perfect people to do that. Well done. Whew. Okay, so up next is main event. Okay, I guess we'll just have 8 matches. Look at all these capable people who could have been booked in something meaningful tonight. But hey, that's a good thing. That means that this could be very entertaining to say the least. And I guess it wouldn't be very fun for Jordan Grace to just have a match straight away in the singles for the title against Diona, and they got to, you know, kind of build up to it, so I'm okay with everything. I just wasn't expecting it. It's a lot of matches here. But anyway, fuck it, let's go. Team of Diona, Kimberly and Susan are first to make entrance, and this is another champion who carries themselves like absolute star. Diona and Kimberly walk out with very much confidence while Susan stands there and folds her arms. And that's why I like this gimmick so much. She's being bad wrestler on purpose. And not only that, but she really made me laugh by arguing with non-existent crowd at apron. It was very funny, and even Diona get distracted and she like, what's she doing? I'm being serious. Look at, you can lip read it. She literally says, what's she doing? Jordan Grace come out and does her trademark pose and smile. Next out is women's wrestling legend Jazz. She's on the last run of her career, and to be honest, I think she deserves better than this. Next out is ODB and her flask, being all vulgar and awesome. Match begin with quick shine from ODB as Kimberly gets taken out by shoulder tackle. Following this, both ladies proceed to tag out, and now Susan in there with Jordan Grace. Susan decides to reassure her teammates with the weakest thumbs up I've ever seen, which is amazing, and then teases Jordan Grace into a test of strength, which is completely illogical. But guess what? She had planned the whole time, because thumb to the eye immediately. Headlock, Jordan whip her off ropes, and now Susan takes shoulder tackle. Even her bumps are bad when she's Susan, and it's great. Susan goes for her signature, I guess, suplex into corner, but gets countered by Jordan Grace. Now Susan kicks out after 2. Jordan Grace gets her in fireman's carry, but Susan cheats her way out of it by raking eyes of Jordan Grace, and then runs over to her corner for the tag. Diona Purazzo, now legal woman, in there with Jazz, and this is quite a nice standoff they have. Jazz catches Diona's leg, ducks Diona's line, and now goes for her signature jab combination, which looked fucking lovely, with a big exclamation point of a right uppercut, and she genuinely looked like she hasn't lost a step. It's very impressive. Now faces throw everybody out of ring so Jordan Grace can do a lovely suicide dive. They keep party going with dive from ODB, and even Jazz get crossbody from second rope. Holy shit, holy shit. And I fucking love this tracking shot of Kimberly crawling back to her corner. Cut back to ring, Diona takes double suplex from Jordan and Jazz. Diona kick out the two, and Jordan pick her up for a torture rack. Diona slips out back and pushes Jordan to the ropes where Kimberly was waiting with a beautiful head kick. Jordan turns around into a Fujiwara from Diona, battles out twice so Diona just takes out her teammates instead of stopping her from making tag. Diona continues to work the arm as she does shoulder DDT. Now she drags Jordan to corner and tagging Kimberly. Kimberly works quite a unique hold. She does like a full Nelson with her legs, and she crosses her ankles behind the neck of Jordan Grace. Jordan bridges and walks her feet backwards in order to pin Kimberly. Kimberly kicks out but continues to put the squeeze on her opponent. Back to heel corner, Susan tag in for some more hilarious heat. Couple strikes in the corner and then she winds up her fist before a punch, which is something I've only ever seen in fucking cartoons. Diona now legal in there with Jordan Grace, and Jordan Grace begin to get the hope as she fights back a little bit. Diona takes couple forearms but doesn't do anything flashy, just lays her out with big forearm smash, lovely. Kimberly back in to work some more chops. Diona back in legal one more time, but this time Jordan really begins to fight back against the entire team. She leap over Diona Purazzo and then she beckons her in for a big black hole slam. Jordan Grace selling as she finally manages to crawl over to her corner for a hot tag for ODB. Parallel to this, Susan get hot tag and struggle to take off jacket. ODB takes her out and then she rip off her shirt sleeves. And the best thing about it is Susan sell it like she is exposed, like naked. Big splash from ODB, and now Susan is just completely cartoon character. Look how she take Dirty Dozen, it's fucking ridiculous. Now she feed out and take Lutaz press from ODB, and before she could get pinned, the heels come running in to save match real quick. Now we go into series of shotgun moves. Kimberly hits back elbow on Jazz and then does her kick on ODB, which cameras miss. Jazz in with headbutt. Now Susan come in with Mongolian chop, followed by Joe Breaker. Ladies, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously, this was the least climactic fucking shotgun sequence I've ever seen in my life. Nobody even took bump. This is so ridiculous. Look at this sequence. Does anybody even go down? Okay, just as I say that, Jordan Grace hits Susan with lovely spinebuster, and then she get taken out by bicycle kick from Diona. Diona turns around into Tez press from ODB, who punches her in head. Jazz all alone now in there with Susan, and she fires up for her usual jab combo, but once again, wouldn't be Susan if she didn't have plan. Duck line, thumb to the eye again. Jordan comes in to help but gets punched by Jazz due to her ability to not see, as Diona takes out ODB on apron. Two faces outside the ring with Diona and Kimberly with a beautiful dive. Look at her form, it was perfect. And even though I didn't show it earlier, it is actually Jazz who is legal in there with Susan. She roll out of schoolboy pin and then she transition into her signature STF lock. Susan repositions herself to work cameras, but finally she tapped to the female fighting phenom. You know what? It's just nice to see Jazz. I know this is encore run, and part of me wishes that this was more meaningful. Part of me wish she had one more run with belt. At this stage, I don't know if her body could handle it, but what I do know is that she deserves to be celebrated. She inspired like 2 generations of women wrestling, and she could even hang with guys and look legit. The only thing which is truly sad is that this match got 9 fucking minutes. I truly don't know why the fuck you wouldn't just completely take out the shitty women's tag match from earlier and just give these people more fucking time. I mean, look, they literally did nothing in this whole fucking match. That being said, it was still enjoyable. It wasn't waste. Okay, it was waste of time, but it was enjoyable waste of time, okay? It was fun. It was 200 million fucking times better than the women's tag match, which was fucking disgrace. But girls coming into this match didn't really even feel like bumping around. Actually, if it wasn't for Susan doing her comedy gold bullshit bullshit character stuff, and if it wasn't for Kimberly doing her big dive, nothing about this would even be fucking memorable. And while I still enjoyed this match, I have to tell you right fucking now, Impact, you have to start fucking prioritizing your talent more. If you have minutes to spare for a fucking show, then give it to the women who can actually fucking wrestle. 2.5 Soviet stars. This was very silly and it was very short and nothing really happened, but you know what, at least it was fun. Okay, so up next surely has to be the main event, right? What? Impact, you've overbooked this to shit. 9 matches? We're going to have 9 matches? Listen guys, as a viewer from start to finish of this, I have to tell you right fucking now that in terms of dynamic, the last thing these people need to see is a fucking another 6-man tag. Let's go. Sorry about your damn luck. James Storm come out and make superstar entrance like superstar that he is. His partner is Chris Sabin, one half of Motor City Machine Guns, and I'll be honest, I like them as team. Next out is Private Party from AEW, and they're accompanied by Big Money Matt Hardy. Out next are the Impact Tag Champions, the Good Brothers, and they come swinging their belts like dicks. Bell rings and we have a nice little shine from James Storm. They run a spot ending with nice shoulder tackle, nice big one. Then he give huge hip toss to Mark Quinn, right back to his corner. Isaiah Cassidy gets killed by lariat from James Storm. James Storm look awesome as he stare down Matt Hardy at ringside. Love little touches like this, really makes difference. Chris Sabin now in as Isaiah roll out of ring for pep talk with Matt Hardy. I love Matt Hardy being so over the top that he's literally one step away from being broken again. So he gets the boys pumped up and we reset and we have Chris Sabin in there with Isaiah Cassidy. Mark Quinn comes in behind Sabin's back for a cheap attack, and now we know what the pep talk was about. Now Isaiah on little spot with Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin up and over, hit rope, sunset flip, and now we have a pinning combination. Crazy amount of core strength from Chris Sabin to get out of this pin. Goes for backslide, 1-2, kick out. They do stereo drop kicks, do a little standoff. Matt Hardy screaming at Cassidy from ringside that he should be proper heel, but Chris Sabin says don't listen.
Don't listen to him.
Sabin overhand to Cassidy, and Cassidy look to Matt Hardy for approval. Takes the handshake, but inevitably cheap shot come off rope and Mark Quinn gets a blind tag. Now listen, Private Party are 2 very good athletes, but they do so many overcomplicated spots. See, look, this assisted Rana is fine, but was that fucking spinning leg kick with crappy leg slap really necessary? Cheap shot to James Storm and then suplex to Chris Sabin, followed by pin. I'm just going to say now, Mark Quinn's fucking hair is fucking dreadful. Nice bit of camera work for the heat on Sabin right now. Chris Sabin now fights back a little bit but can make it in time to James Storm for tag. Thank you to Mark Quinn. Quinn now with full Nelson on Chris Sabin. Sabin rolls out into pin. Quinn keeps momentum going into Good Brothers corner. Carl Anderson now in and take lovely enziguri from Mark Quinn. Look at that. Another absolutely needlessly complicated tag team move happens. I hate it. Look at it. Gut punch, then sunset flip, then drop kick. So stupid. Carl Anderson turns the tides on Private Party and drags him to his private corner by biting him in the head. Doc Gallows now in, does lovely fucking strikes. Look at this guy go. Hell fucking yes. Now that was lovely. Now he gears up again and gives him a huge roundhouse kick to the head. Lovely. And then show to hard cam. What a fucking monster. Carl Anderson legal, does some nice heat joint manipulation stuff. Doc Gallows now legal once again, hits suplex and a huge leg drop, covers Mark Quinn, both guys from both teams in to break up cover. Good Brothers decide to do more cheating, Doc Gallows give him headbutt and he fell to apron where Carl Anderson was waiting. But realistically this is heel versus heel and there's no one for really to support. Carl Anderson now doing more arm heat to a guy who's already a heel. Then they tease a tag from Private Party, but you know what, I don't care because they're fucking heels. Carl Anderson picks up Mark Quinn using his ears and he goes for back suplex. Mark Quinn flips out. Hot tag from actual face team. James Storm in there. Atomic drop to Carl Anderson. pushes him off ropes for a huge belly-to-belly. Doc Gallows in to help Carl Anderson, but James Storm and Chris Sabin run a little dozy-do spot, run into corner, up and over. Doc Gallows takes back elbow and enziguri kick, followed by a beautiful leg sweep lariat combo. Lovely. Chris Sabin runs his feet off James Storm for a lovely tornado DDT. Go for another double team on Carl Anderson, but Isaiah Cassidy tags in and then completely botches whatever he was going to springboard in and do. Like, look at this again, something clearly went wrong. Either somebody forgot something or they were out of position, because you don't springboard, land next to someone, just do strikes. Also, talk about blind tag, not even fucking cameras picked this up. The only reason I know is because I was watching referee. Chris Sabin now tried to take on Private Party by himself. He tries go for his tornado DDT thing where he kicks off, but he doesn't get it. He takes drop toe hold into code breaker lock, and then Mark Quinn do beautiful shooting star press off his back. James Storm come in, and once again they do a needlessly complicated spot. I mean, look at this. If they finished it here, it would be fine, but no, they get flip and then kick and then assisted Shiriano. No, listen guys, just fucking do one thing, or at least do something with rhythm, or like, you know, God forbid, logic. Private Party now go for another double team thing, but get cut off by European from Carl Anderson. Cassidy in with enziguri to Carl Anderson. Chris Sabin in now getting kicked by Luke Gallows. Isaiah Cassidy reverses being thrown out of ring by assisted satellite DDT or something else which is complicated for no reason. Chris Sabin fly in with beautiful enziguri kick. Carl Anderson now in. Huge spine buster to Chris Sabin. Huge pop-up drop kick from Mark Quinn, and he nips up straight into James Storm's beautiful razor's edge spinning power bomb, Eye of the Storm, whatever the hell he calls it. It's great. Lovely landing, goes for cover, 1-2, and no, Mark Quinn kicks out. James Storm sells it like you could almost taste it. Doc Gallows comes in with chair, referee distracted behind his back, Matt Hardy twist of fate. Isaiah Cassidy already up top. Beautiful swanton bomb to James Storm. Isaiah rolls Storm into position for Mark Quinn's shooting star press, but this is a triple threat tag team match, which means anybody can tag anybody, and Carl Anderson just stole a tag from the legal man. Referee acknowledges the tag. Beautiful shooting star from Mark Quinn, but he's not the legal man, he can't make pin. Carl Anderson in and throws him out immediately. Covers James Storm. It's a 1-2, and they steal it. This is another match which I've been presented with, which I don't really know what to do with. The finish was kind of clever, I guess, or I guess it would have been if they didn't fuck it up. Because look, do you remember this botchy spot? Do you remember the blind tag which nobody saw? Well, that's the tag which made Cassidy legal, not Mark Quinn. So referee had no business counting where Mark Quinn was being pinned, and he had no business acknowledging a tag from Carl Anderson. What I'm saying is the guy who did a swanton and James Storm were legal, and this match should technically be going on right now. This match was full of very good wrestlers who didn't get to shine because this match was overbooked to shit. And I really don't dislike Private Party, but you know what? If you took them out of this match, this would be a much better match. If it was just James Storm and Sabin versus Good Brothers like we almost had on the Go Home show before you ruined it. By making it triple threat tag match, you make it a lot more spotty, a lot less storytelling. As a triple threat tag match, this felt like just too messy, too complicated. Why couldn't you just do a fucking normal tag match, guys? This wasn't good. Not that anybody was particularly bad. Actually, everybody did their part very well. It's just this match was sloppily designed and it was bad in execution. All the teams were fine and I'm glad the Good Brothers won, but this came across very convoluted and disjointed, and the finish was bad. I really like the super babyface team of James Storm and Chris Sabin, and they really would have shined in a straightforward tag match against Good Brothers. The best thing about Private Party is that they are accompanied by Matt Hardy, who's just so expressive and over the top, and I'm loving him as a manager sort of gimmick right now. At the end of match, he had word with his boys where he was acting like actual broken-hearted father figure, and it was great. So there it was at least some joy in watching this. It just had nothing to do with match, and I've come to conclusion that women's six-man tag match was better. Yeah, seriously, you can probably go ahead and skip this one, guys. This is getting 2.5 stars. Now the next match better be the fucking main event. Well, Is it? Is it going to be? Is it going to be? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's main event. Play the song. Play the fucking song. Even I'm making effort to be enthusiastic for this. I buried you a lot, Tommy, but you know what? Happy birthday. I'm even playing your song by Alice in Chains from ECW days. Another thing I would like to say is the entire night between matches has been littered with so many Tommy Dreamer promos that I don't even know what to do with them. And I will be addressing them later just because I want to see this match and I want to see how they play a part contextually. Anyway, happy 50th, Tommy. Wish you luck in this main event. You're welcome. And while I also understand that your body is beat and you're a little bit limited, if you designed this match correctly, you can look great still. Wrestling is always just matter of perception. And speaking of perception, how can anybody not perceive Rich Swann as an absolute star? Especially when he make entrance back to back after Tommy Dreamer. It's literally like night and day. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Rich Swann really isn't a very tall guy. He stands at about something like 172, and he looked more like wrestler than the 6-footer with broad shoulders that he's facing in this match, just because of how he carry himself. Anyway, the ref raises the belt, these two guys handshake and start with lockup. Ugh, I really hate face versus face matches. Rich Swann walks up the ropes to get some leverage in the lockup. Tommy lets go and no cheap shots, they just lock up again. Rich Swann goes for waist lock, Tommy reverses, takes him down, and now they do a little bit of mat wrestling. Okay, look, this is not the worst thing in the world, okay? I can't say I hate it, but look, this is wrong. This is not how this match should have gone. This match should not be Tommy Dreamer trying to prove that he can hang with a young guy. And it's bad. It's bad for you, Tommy, because look, you look like a person who cannot keep up with this young guy. You can't swing your hips fast enough to move. All you had to do, Tommy, is adjust your style. Leave the indie shit to this guy and you just be powerhouse. Anyway, these two, he's going for their finishers and then do little standoff. I've edited it to look okay, but I have to tell you it wasn't great. Tommy is just too fucking slow. He can't move out of way quick enough. He's physically not able to swing his hips. But I can't say it's all bad. Look at this spot. Hit shoulder tackle, then doesn't sell hip toss. Rich stuck his line. Coming off ropes, Tommy catches his crossbody, and from here he does follow a slam and Rich get out of ring. See, this is how you should be working, Tommy. Well done. Hits bit of an ugly baseball slide, and then he proceeds to dive at Rich Swann from apron, and I don't know what it was supposed to be. It looked like shit. Rich Swann now on apron does beautiful looking flip at the ECW legend, and Tommy didn't even really catch him there. So Rich Swann shows out like superstar, and then he makes his way up on apron to kick Tommy, but Tommy catches leg and gets him in Death Valley driver out on floor. It is this exact moment that we get Matt Striker on commentary telling us that Tommy has actually just dislocated his finger. And then we have this guy who's pretending to be Dr. fucking Run Out. Okay, firstly, no fucking real doctor would ever wear this stupid mad scientist long white coat, okay? This is just fucking cartoon. And secondly, okay, listen, Tommy, you're a deathmatch wrestler, you're a hardcore wrestler. Your job, more or less, is to make people feel uncomfortable to some extent, okay? And broken finger really isn't what I had in mind. I thought you were going to do a nice sort of blading job. I thought, you know, it's 50th Tommy Dreamer birthday. He has main event. He's obviously going to bleed in it and stuff. And I have to say right now that whether this is work or not is irrelevant. From here, this match takes direction which has had no business taking. So Tommy mugs for the camera as he pops back in his finger. I guess. I'm still not buying it. Now Swann comes back to life little bit. Tommy cuts him off and gives him neck breaker from the apron before he can do anything. So Tommy tries to go for his finish, try get him in TDT, but Rich pulled a finger, which is fucking lovely way to escape. And if you ask me, that's what makes this official. It's work, okay? It's fucking work. I mean, look, let's examine this. The minute something happened to his finger, the live mixer immediately cut to the GoPro, which shows this guy come out with his fake white jacket, and then he does nothing, just pour water and Tommy fixes his own fucking finger. I'm not buying it. And especially now that Rich start working his finger, I'm not buying it. So Rich Swann does some nice hand stomping, he bends finger back, he does all kinds of stuff to basically take advantage of Tommy and his injury. So finally he gets Tommy in corner and he decides to do a running attack, but Tommy catches him straight into a leg atomic drop, and then he gives him basement drop dropkick and Rich bumped the wrong way, but did fine. He compensated by selling. Then Tommy does his fucking stupid move, which is half a scoop slam and half a reverse DDT, useless. After that, he put Rich Swann into a Texas cloverleaf. Just no, Tommy. This isn't how your last match should be at age 50. What the fuck are you doing? Tommy, think about it. You are the bigger guy against a very, very cool, flashy, facey type guy. Why are you trying to hang like babyface? You just look like shit. Especially now that you want sympathy for having broken finger. Ooh. Okay, I like that strike. Tommy goes to hit rope, Rich cut him off with huge forearm, lovely. Then now Rich goes to hit ropes, Tommy right behind him and ooh, spear through the ropes. That was actually really nice, guys. Look at that. I wasn't expecting it at all. Some of these spots are just fine. These two could have had a good match. It shouldn't have been this though. So now Tommy goes to do pile driver, but the Rich Swann kick him in face to reverse. Now Rich goes for a spring onto... Show that again, that was fucking awesome. Rich Swann with a headstand, lethal injection from apron into Tommy Dreamer outside ring. That was fucking great. Look at what these two are capable of. Don't you think this could have been better match without stupid finger shit? Anyway, let's carry on. So Tommy Dreamer gets Rich Swann into a big superplex from top rope, but he can't swing his hips. Swann takes advantage with cradle, but it only gets 2 counts. Now these two guys separate. Tommy has the legs of Rich Swann, slingshot into ropes. Rich Swann goes for Cutter and Tommy with cutter of his own. These spots are actually very cool. Kick out at 2. Tommy now with fireman's carry to Rich Swann, probably going for another Death Valley. Rich Swann slips out back in sunset flip. Tommy reverses into his own pin, and now look at how fucking slow. Look how long it takes Tommy to... You can't, just don't do these spots if you can't swing your fucking hips. Although there is very nice transition here when Rich kick out and he transitioned into the hand, and like, you know, because of the finger earlier, which he continues to work. And at this point I was like, wow, they could be very clever here, but they're not going to do what I thought they were going to do. Anyway, Tommy gets rope, so we get separation. Rich Swann with a low super kick, and when Tommy is kneeling, he gives him a huge head kick. Holy shit. Shades of Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels with the I'm sorry I love you spot before super kick to face, which Tommy catches. Front face lock into backslide, which is weird, could have been DDT. Anyway, separation and...
There was a hesitation.
Listen guys, just take it home now, okay? Like, you've done all the cool spots you can probably do. Now it's time to wrap this shit up. This match was not what it was supposed to be, but it was, I guess, it was acceptable if you take out the finger bullshit. Rich Swann now on the top rope, and he goes for a beautiful looking frog splash, which Tommy barely moves out of the way of. Now pinning combination again. Stop it, guys. Although this transition is pretty cool. He gets him in what looks like could be Rings of Saturn, but Tommy is just too big and strong. He literally powers out, just stands up with Rich on his back, fireman's carry, Death Valley driver, goes for pin, 1, 2, Rich kicks out. Of course he fucking does, he's not 50-year-old with 2 ponytails. Tommy goes for DDT finish, but no, because once again Rich Swann pulled a finger, lovely. Now low drop kick to set him up for hesitation. Disgusting. Hit the ropes for a beautiful back thrust kick. Then he ascends to second rope. Second rope for a Phoenix splash. Holy fucking shit. Rich Swann is incredible. That's it. Ring the bell.
Ugh. Okay, look. What do you want me to say? Tommy looked old, but we all knew that. Rich looked good, but we all knew that too. They could have told a much better story with much more emotions and much different match design. Sometimes it was cool spots and sometimes it is what it should have been, but it wasn't memorable. And you know what? It could have been. If I had to rate this match, and I do, it would be 3 Soviet stars, and not even full 3, maybe 2 3/4 even. I think that in order to justify 50-year-old man in main event, it would have to be better. I know Tommy is legend in his own way, but he didn't come across that way. He was reasonably sincere and grateful to be where he is, and that was nice. but it was it enough to pull emotions from me personally? No. But this is one of those matches where it can actually be kind of a little bit open to interpret. If it made you feel something, then that's great. I will say that in the end, at least they tried. They didn't just do, spot fest. So, was this a good show? It's, hit and miss. There is terrible women match. There is waste of time men match. I've been looking for a minute at cage match to see what other people thought of this show. Obviously after I had formulated my own review. That is because I did not want to be influenced. And I have to say that my critique do not match what the internet think. Not like a complete opposite, but it's exactly as Igor predict. The internet judges good matches on level of craziness. Who had most crazy, dangerous spot, this and that. So in this case, the highest ratings went to the X Division #1 contender match. And they also enjoyed the crazy spotty 3-way tag. I, however, judge on storytelling. I think that Jake and Cody Deaner match was the most complete story. They made me feel something. I also think that X Division title match was fucking awesome. To me it was perfect combination of crazy cruiserweight action and singles match storytelling, and for me these two matches is what wrestling all about. People think that they want to see moonsault, but really it's like a guitar solo. If you do that for 4 minutes, nobody cares. But put it in the right place in song and it make all the hair on your arm stand up. Everything is about moderation and dynamics, which is also why I praised opening match so much. It wasn't an amazing match, but it is what needed to be from opening match. If every match tried to be main event, like most fans think they want to see, by the time we reach main event, you've already seen everything and it don't feel like climax. So, in end, I give this show 2 3/4 stars, just like the main event. It had good moments, it had bad moments. But for the most part, wrestlers work really hard to do the best with what they could with the booking. I think it just needed maybe one more good single match with a story instead of throwing away so many talent in so many multi-man matches. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of my review for No Surrender. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Igor from 2026 speaking now, and I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for watching this video which I promised to release 5 years ago. I have one more video which I've been waiting to release for 5 years, and I don't know when I will be releasing it. It might be soon, it might not be soon, but it exists, and it almost finished. One thing that I will say is Igor will return. I don't know what kind of video I will make next, but as you can imagine, it's been half a decade and wrestling has changed. Many things have changed. The landscape, once again, has changed. And I think it goes without saying that Igor has a lot of things to catch up on. But I'm interested to see where we are, how much I've missed. I feel like Austin Powers, when he's watching all these videos of 70s and 80s and 90s, because he'd been asleep for 30 years. That's a little bit how I feel. However, that is not something sad, that is exciting. Hopefully, wrestling is in a much better place, because last time I watched was pretty much COVID. Last time I was watching, it was depressing. Every arena was empty, there was fake crowd noises, and the world came back to life. I don't know what to expect when I do finally catch up, and I hope that wrestling now is in a much better place than it was when I had left. And I hope that I'm being an optimist rather than a fool. Anyway, thank you for watching. Again, Igor will return. This, I promise.